Figure it out. Okay, we're live now.
Okay. I'd like to call the Wednesday, March 15th of Brimfield Township Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Here.
Scott Etling.
Here.
Vince Bordacco. Ed Shooty.
Here.
Sean Phillips. Clayton Popick.
Here.
Patrick Blair.
Here.
Clayton, you will be a voting member tonight. Also present is Mike Ladd, Economic Development Director and Zoning Inspector, myself, Lauren Kaufman, Zoning Secretary, and Joe Jameson, Brimfield Township IT Director.
We do have an agenda here. Everybody is happy to take one. Motion regarding our agenda.
Make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Everything's been duly advertised and all
Yes, it has.
letters went out, all that. We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bordacco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
All right, at this time, if you're going to be speaking this evening, we swear everybody in en masse. So if you would please, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give before this board is to the best of your knowledge an accurate and truthful presentation of the facts? If so, say I do, and in turn, state your name and which case you're here for.
I do, Dave Crowns with Pleasant Lakes, Ohio.
Patrick Long with Hickory Creek. Stephen Byron with. Excuse me, Copper Creek.
That's my lawyer.
We've not had any objections, so. No old business, we do have minutes from February to approve the motion.
I'll make the motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve February minutes. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bordacco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty. Clayton Popick.
Yes.
First application is a zoning conditional use application, Pleasant Lakes, Ohio, on the Delta Builders LLC. It's a conditional use request. Applicant is requesting conditional use reapproval of a planned residential development, zoning resolution section 30602B5, planned residential development subject to provisions of chapter 4 and section 400.1.b subsection 56. Okay, who's representing? Tell us what it is going on.
Well, I was in there, a year and a half or so ago, finishing up, trying to get the section, the overlook section in Pleasant Lakes finished up. From the original plan that I did back in '06, there was 20 sites on a piece of road off of Chauncey Lane that never got completed. There was 20 buildings there to be done. We are down to 15 buildings, ranches, change the style a little bit. And then there are 5 slots, I call them slots, in the section right now that has roads and everything. So we have a section to complete and everything. And we ran into some issues with the condos, with some stuff we found out that was done with the original condos were done with Brian, and things didn't get recorded just right. So it kind of put some roadblocks, so we never could get started. So we're back asking for exactly the same variance that we had before to build these 15 and to build the other 5 that are in the original section with those roads.
So So where are the original 5? I see the 15 on the map.
They were hard to pick out here.
Okay.
There's one gonna be there,
Oh,
and
okay.
then when they get there, yeah. And that's what was part of the problem, when they did when they platted this, they did it 2 different ways. One shows this, if you go pull tax map, shows all the recorded footprints only. And they never give the people the open space. They never give them the common areas. They don't have fences, swing sets, they use it, and they don't own it.
Yeah,
So they have all these lot lines on another plat. That's what they thought they got. So I had to get everybody to agree, which I finally did. Now I can give them all this land. When I make the purchase, give them the land that they think they have, which will create these 5 spots. Those 5 are going to go in the existing association. That was an agreement with their board that I got. And then these will end up, the new road will be its own separate, conduit association.
oh, okay.
Are these existing homes or are these?
Yeah, these are all
existing. So there was nothing ever planned for here.
There was.
They just never put it
They never got in, when everything went to crap, everything got left behind.
Okay.
These utilities were actually put in '06, and then we never get paid.
Okay.
So now, it's gotta get cleaned up, and, but it's ready to go.
So these all need built, these are the new ones.
These all need built, and then these slots in here.
So you will be filling these slots?
Yeah,
Okay.
These people are okay with their house going there, or they knew about it anyway?
they know about
They
it.
know about it. Okay.
Yeah. Now, these 5 in here, in my opinion, there's really 4 of them that are buildable, so they were wanting some parking areas, so I was gonna also give them a section. And instead of building a house there, they're just,
So there'll be only 4 of them.
at their cost, they.
So there's only 4.
So 4, and this little fella here that they drew in, this is 15, but I think it's gonna end up just being parking too.
Okay.
So for sure 14, but that's what we took in before.
So for sure 14 and then 4.
4, yeah. But that was, we originally went back, so I just basically created the application, which was 5 and 15. But the reality is gonna end up being 14, probably parking area in one of these slots. The other parking area is gonna be for these people. And, that's pretty much it.
Wasn't there something with a fire lane when we approved it back then? I did like vaguely remembering.
There was concern from the whole HOA. Originally, there was different owners, and Dave's purchasing it from them. And then they kind of just went nowhere with it, and then Dave came in with his plan, and then met with the HOA with the homes that go along the side here. You'll see it backs up to what our fiscal officer actually lives back here. I think that's sub-lot 5 it is. But, so they all met, and everybody seems pretty pleased with Dave's proposal.
We can't renew the old one. We have to, well, because we're going to change the numbers. Instead of 15, it'd be 14. Instead of 5, it'd be 4.
You have the numbers correct now, though, as far as the,
On the application, you have 15 and 5.
Yeah, I'm doing the application, I'm just telling you guys, probably will not build those other buildings, but we're just still going with the same application.
So you do want the 15 and 5
Yeah.
for now?
Yeah,
All the spacing's the same, no issue with setback?
yeah, no issues, everything's staying the same.
And everything's gonna sort of match in with what's already there, like
Yeah.
nice and friendly.
yeah, I'm building ranches, but, I got an agreement that I signed with the trust, with our board, and, so that everybody, there's gonna be an agreement with the road, because there is easements there to allow us to access that, but, then you got the situation where they're coming in, so we're gonna have to share because of the other roads, so that, maintenance.
Mhm.
And in that situation over there, the only open space, everybody will be maintaining their own open space in the whole section. As they do now, the only open spaces, the common area is the roads, and that's what their fee is for.
So these variances, they were already approved. Okay, do we have any other questions from the board? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we renew, extend, just correct adjectives, renew the previous conditional use permit.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Roll call, please.
Bruce Hickenberg,
Yes.
Scott Atling.
Yes.
Vince Bradford.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Powell.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. You're welcome to
Thanks.
stay. or-
And I'd like to say that
You got too
I
much,
got another big.
you got too
All
much,
right.
I'll be talking to you.
Thanks.
So our next application, I think there's 4 or 5 of them. So we will start with, for zoning conditional use application, Hickory Creek LLC, Patrick Long. Conditional use request, applicant is requesting conditional use approval for an antenna tower, zoning resolution section 304.02B 14, wireless telecommunications service facilities proposed by public utility companies and subject to local zoning procedure, subject to provisions of Chapter 4, Section 400.10.B, subsection 63. Okay. Idea, all right.
I'll start with an apology for missing last month's meeting. Somehow I ended up with it on the 22nd on my calendar, so it's a week late. So all of the items we'll be discussing here tonight that relate to my applications are related to the construction of the sanitary sewer pump station to serve the New Hickory Creek subdivision going in off of Malloy Road. The antenna tower in particular, first item on the agenda, isn't really a telecommunications tower per se. It serves the pump station's SCADA system, their electronic data acquisition and control system that ultimately is owned and operated by Portage County, tells them how the pumps are running, so forth and so on, all of the information that they need to control the system remotely. So it's going in for that purpose.
And how tall is it?
45 feet. And by the way, all of the related specifications for this project are given to us by Portage County Water Resources. So it's all taken word for word from their standard requirements. If any of you have been down Sandy Lake and seen the Cranberry Creek pump station, ours is almost an exact duplicate of that. Same equipment, same design, same engineer, same architect, obviously same county specifications, etc.
Where did this come from? I mean, why is it now you're coming in? And it might be my own education. Why is it now that you're coming in asking for a variance for this when the development, you planned the development for years?
Because we did not realize that these requirements required a separate permit. We have gotten the building permit for the pump station some time ago. And then Mr. Ladd notified me that the tower required a separate permit and fence, so forth. and so
But if you went through this
on.
with Copper, or Cranberry Creek, why wouldn't you have known about this particular?
I wasn't the contractor
Yeah,
there, and to my knowledge, they did not have to secure the separate permits for these items. At least that was not brought to my attention, or I had been here a long time ago.
Yeah.
So does this fall into, how far away from property lines and structures and so forth is this going, the tower going to be?
If I'm correct, I think this is literally in somebody's backyard.
It has adequate separation by code. There is a rear property line that abuts the north boundary of the site. The antenna tower itself will be about 70 feet from that rear line.
But it's,
To the west is dedicated common area. To the east is the access road.
the new road that you're connecting onto, I can't remember the name of the wood, it's connecting to Sugar Maple. There's an offshoot that goes right there. It's back in there, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, it's literally, there's a house on the corner, and it's right behind there, and then you're putting a new, other houses in the cul-de-sac there, correct?
Yeah, the road will continue to the south, yes.
So it pretty close to somebody's backyard.
So do we need we're gonna need a variance on the height?
Right now, this is a conditional use, so what the first line item you have is the conditional use, and then there's
I
variances
don't remember
that
seeing a
follow.
variance on the height of the tower.
Is
He needs like
it,
95 feet according to, you need 50 feet plus the height of the tower. He says he's got 70. I might be wrong, I just missed it, but.
I'll take a look at it as you guys go through it.
I don't have any pictures of any diagrams of where it's going to be in relationship to homes. You have something there, or
Yeah, we did submit full.
I might be on the wrong page too.
Is that another one of them electronic things?
I
It's
don't know.
probably between the keyboard.
Probably in this case, it's user.
So this is the site, this is the rear of lot 43. Now keep in mind, the house is way up here.
Do you have a development map? Or like the whole development?
Don't believe so, that was part of our original submittal when we got the conditional use, but I don't believe we have that in this set of plans.
Does that tower have any kind of lights on it? I don't think it's tall enough, does it?
Yeah.
So, I remember. Main road goes like this, there's an offshoot that goes like this. This is the cul-de-sac of the building, I think it's right here. So there's a house already here, there's a house here. That's the pump, I think that's the pump station.
Is this about what you think?
So this is the road, up here is Sugar Maple, down here is off of Malloy. There's an offshoot that goes this way. There's a house here, and I think the pump station's right here.
Yeah, that's correct. Probably not quite the scale, but.
No, of course,
General
not. And
idea.
then there's gonna be houses along here.
Well, no, the road.
Oh, that road, the
continues
road's
on.
gonna continue.
Yeah, the road goes straight, so
Yeah.
these houses will be.
So there is a house here, and I think there's a bunch across the street already, but this is the pump station right there.
How it goes.
Yeah.
On this corner.
So there aren't going to be any homes further down the road, or there are?
There are.
Okay. And how close are we to those property lines? 70 feet.
70 feet. And again, that's to the property line, not to the home.
Right. I believe the, if I remember correctly, it needs to be 50 feet plus the height of the tower from any property line. It's much easier to find online.
I know.
I just don't want to lose my page.
So is this a dedicated tower? I mean, it's strictly for Portage County?
What's that?
Is this a dedicated tower strictly for Portage County, for the pump station, nothing else will be on it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Personally, there's two fundamental problems I have. Is one is this is being decided for homeowners that aren't even there yet. And so they're gonna have a tower in their neighborhood.
They knew it.
And the second part is it's in my backyard. I can literally sit there and look at it right out my window. So, if it was a 7-foot tower, that's one thing, but it's gonna be 40 feet. So it's gonna be right dead center in my window, so. Make it look nice.
Make it look nice.
That
Of course,
crazy.
I don't, I'm trying to think of the one I drive by almost every day, and I can't think of any kind of antenna that's on.
My
The one
window's
over
right there.
on,
It's not very intrusive.
Yeah.
It's not a solid pole. It's,
like a try, 3
yeah,
poles.
the triangular shape with the open webbing and that.
Well, I had nice green fields and a big hole, and now I have almost picking up, now I'm gonna have an antenna in my house.
So make it look, put flowers on it.
Yes, but like I said, the big fundamental problem for me is you're making, whether they know it or not, they haven't built the house yet, they're gonna have a neighborhood with a tower in it.
Yeah.
So that's my problem.
I can't build a pump station without a tower,
Right.
and if I don't build a pump station,
You can't build
Well,
them.
Well, that's why I asked you,
Yeah.
that's why I asked you how you didn't know about it ahead of time.
So the original plan, and I'm trying to find where it's at, but the original drawings for Hickory Creek in Phase 2 that were approved as conditional use
Yeah.
shows the location of the antenna. But then the antenna at the time where it was approved by the board here didn't give a height and did give specifications
Right.
because it says drawings are to follow or something along those lines. Exact wordage I gotta find it. The location of the antenna was approved. So we didn't go for a location because we didn't know the height.
Right.
it's been on the preliminary plans from the very beginning.
Yeah, but it was an antenna, now it's a 40-foot
Now
antenna.
it's, yeah, I think.
Yeah, we didn't have any details on the antenna. It said shop drawings to follow.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the issue there is that you can't get the shop drawings from the antenna vendor until you physically buy and take possession of the antenna. So right now it's parked in the parking lot of my office. I had to buy it
So-
to get the drawings to be able to make the submittal, yeah.
So if this isn't approved, how does Portage County check their pump? Find out, how do they do it normally?
They won't open it. Then the subdivision's out of business.
So all of the pumps in Portage County have one of these antennas.
Absolutely.
So now we're being held hostage for a 40-foot antenna. I mean, that's literally what you're saying.
That's what happened.
I'm no hostage right now.
Right.
People, I don't make any of these specs, I don't make any of these.
No, I understand that, but we have to live with them. So that's my problem.
I would say that what we're doing here is considerably more attractive than you have in most of the other subdivisions in the county, where a lot of them are on old telephone poles.
Oh, maybe that's what that does.
So you have,
The one on Cranberry Creek is the same
It's the
spec.
same,
so
yeah, I come by,
The one on County Road 18 that I go by all the time here, it's on telephone.
when I go by some Monroe Road, over by how that industrial park there was.
I have a question, Bruce, and, I'm sitting here looking at this and there's 5 different issues here. Are they all concerning this pump station?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep,
Do you have anything there that would make us happy? I mean, is there something there that's redeeming of putting a telephone pole up? Is there, are some artistic work involved here, or, what are the other issues?
Well, the other issues are basically Portage County, if I understand correctly, their specifications are a little different than ours. I think
Right.
In all cases, they're a little less than what we require in our book. And those are the variances that they're requesting. But I don't recall a variance for this one. No tower shall be erected at a distance closer than the height of the tower plus 50 feet from any structure, road, highway, or property line, excluding any building or road which is necessary to the express use of the tower. So you're only 70 in two different directions, and that would not, your 45-foot tall tower, you need 95 feet from the tower to the property lines.
The problem with that is that where he puts the tower on the location is dictated by the county, and then the other problem is that you already approved the location of where the tower's gonna go.
But how can we approve what we don't know?
We didn't
Well,
know,
that's
Well,
what,
at the
yeah, we
time,
didn't know the height.
you didn't know the height, you approved the location, but you didn't know the height.
Well, we could prove the location as long as the tower is, how much, 50 feet plus the tower height?
height of the tower.
So
But-
as long as it's 35, 20 feet.
Right, but then here's the problem that lies is that if the existing lots are already either buildable or something's there, how do you change it? Because there's already a house there on the corner.
It was occupied.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, so we're gonna need another variance.
It probably will be another variance.
Okay.
And you could add that on tonight if you want, but, no, you shouldn't. We should do it with another meeting because I'm gonna have to advertise it.
Yeah, I don't have
Or
a-
does it have to be 45 feet tall?
Yeah, that's
That's,
county spec.
this one is good.
Again, none of these specs are things that we came up with arbitrarily. They tell us what we've got to build.
Right. So from the conditional use standpoint, having the fact that we've already approved the PRD, I don't know how we cannot approve the conditional use for the tower.
I mean, what happens if we don't approve it? Does it go back to Portage County?
For the tower,
Yeah.
if the variance isn't approved, yeah, they'll have to figure something out for telecommunication.
No,
I don't like being held hostage. That's the part that's kind of sticking to my craw. It's like we approve it or,
Yeah, right now you're looking at the conditional use and not a variance.
Right, we're just looking at the condition. Do we want to be able to allow the tower? We basically already,
yeah.
we've already allowed the tower by allowing.
You didn't
the
approve, you're not approving the height, you're approving the tower.
Just the tower, right.
but we know the height now. We didn't know the height before.
Correct, you didn't know the height before, yes.
So that's,
So now we're okaying a 40-foot tower.
No, you're approving the tower
We're just
itself.
approving the tower. He will need a variance.
He's
for the
gonna need a
height.
variance on top of it, yes.
So you see the snowball that's coming down the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what's
okay.
gonna happen.
So, all right, so the tower itself, like you say, will be fairly unobtrusive. We'll have a fence around it. We will have some, although I think some of the buffering you have issue with.
If he
But,
puts these
for now,
balloons and everything.
Since we're just looking at the
Would
conditional
that make
permit
sense?
for the tower. Do we have any questions regarding that?
I think we're between a rock and a hard place. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve that conditional.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use request. All right, any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Bruce Wickenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling,
No,
Vince Brodacco,
Yes,
Ed Shooty,
Yeah.
Clayton Poppin,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay. And then conditional permit. Let's see, I guess the next one's a conditional permit as well. No, I'm sorry. It's a variance application. Hickory Creek LLC, Patrick Long. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance to eliminate buffering plants adjacent to the fence to comply with Portage County water resource specifications. Zoning resolution section 400.10 B, .63, .B, .8, B, buffering plants shall be located around the perimeter of the security fence consisting of evergreen screen comprised of either hedge, planted trees, 3 feet on center maximum, or a row of evergreen trees planted 5 feet on center maximum. Okay, so what does Portage County have an issue with?
Actually, after review of their specification, I did find a provision that would prevent us to install the buffering plants, so I'm going to withdraw that request.
Okay.
And we'll install the buffering plants.
Okay. We don't need any action on that, right? He just withdraws it.
If he's withdrawn.
All right, so our next is a zoning variance application, again, Hickory Creek LLC, at Long. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance to eliminate the trespassing sign. Zoning resolution section 400.10.B, 63.B.12, no trespassing sign shall be posted around the facility with the current accurate telephone number of responsible parties to contact in the event of an emergency. Okay, why don't we want a sign?
Well, there's no provision in the counties. Keep in mind, the county's going to own this.
Right.
We build it, we turn it, they accept it, we turn it over to them, they own it and operate it. There's no provision in their spec for any kind of signage. They'd be okay with a sign, I'd be okay with a sign. Yes,
Yeah.
I think that might kind of look obnoxious personally, but, I have no.
I mean, generally, it's just if something goes wrong, there's a fire or something, the neighbors might want to know who to contact, I'm guessing. That's why it's in the book.
That's probably,
The tower falls over onto their property line, whatever.
Especially in a residential.
Right, it's only 45 feet, right?
We're still gonna be well.
We're still good.
Especially in a residential neighborhood, I mean, you might as well put a big red beacon for kids and say, come play with me, come play, they'll try it, so I'm sure they want somebody to call.
My cat got stuck in there.
Yeah, you can't climb the tower.
Well, no, it got inside the fence.
Yeah.
Was over there smelling them really nice shrubs and
Yeah, I'm confused. Has the code been rewritten since Cranberry went in? There's no signage there, I'm sure.
I have no idea. I'd have to go back and research. I wasn't.
No, I believe that this has been in there for a while. You would probably know more than us, but.
I don't know, that's some old great cells.
I believe this part has been in there for a while, and it may have just did something again that had been overlooked at the time, I don't know. You were lucky.
That's the way my life is.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, I was hesitant on enforcing this section of the code. So we asked our legal advisor to go through,
Okay.
and these are the variances that we came up with Deaver and Associates. So I'll get back to you guys on the 45-foot, I'm not so sure on that.
Well, the thing about the sign, if I can point it out,
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you how big, where it's going, the placement of it, the colors of it.
Is
Or
that
anything.
free side, one side, yeah, it doesn't say.
Yeah, there's none of those are stipulated in there. I think it's important to just be a good neighbor thing to have a phone number in there, call in case of emergency. You could put it on paper. I don't think it's not really that big a deal that I see here. And I don't care what, I work for the county. Okay? I do the building and codes in the county, and I can tell you, they have areas that they need to adjust.
That's a point we could agree on.
He used to work for the county.
We should compare notes.
Yeah.
Lots of it. So, yeah, the signs shouldn't be that big a deal. You got, what, $100 in
I'm
signs?
okay if they're okay. Like I said, all we did was follow the county spec, and
Put it in
Mirror
there.
what
If
was
they
done
wanna
in
take it
Gregory.
down, when it says they could take it down.
Yeah, I didn't say anything earlier, but it was interesting comment. There was actually two plats used, one used to sell the properties and one used to get the permitting. Is that what I understood?
absolutely not.
Well, I thought that's what you said.
So if the tower was showed up on the original drawing, but there was no information about its height or location.
Yeah, I understood that.
Yeah,
That's the horse is out of the barn there.
Yeah.
I mean, so,
Welcome to the PCA.
all right.
okay, so, I don't see a reason not to have a sign, my personal preference, but, do you have any other questions? Do we have a, motion?
Yeah.
I'll try.
It was right.
I'll say.
Well, I guess my question is how many signs and where?
Well, it only requires, I think only requires a single sign.
By the gate? I'm assuming there's a gate.
Well, the English is
Just go on the
multiple.
street side, yeah.
Yeah.
The English is multiple. It says signs.
Okay.
So you can talk to the attorney, but you can argue that's more than one.
$100 S.
I would say.
Oh, it does say, no trespassing sign shall be posted. A no trespassing sign shall be posted. So, I mean, I would think generally, I guess, for the county purposes, we should just go ahead with the vote. And then you can tell them they made you put a sign on the wall, on the fence.
I will be delivering that message.
And if
And
they
then-
want to
and then they
take it
can
down,
come
they
back
can
and-
take it
They go
down.
back and give us a hard time. So, I mean, I don't know how much authority we have on public property. I mean, it'll become public entity owning it. So I don't know how much authority we actually have once they take possession of it. So.
Put it up, let them take it down, that's all.
All right.
I was gonna say, they may or not keep my sign.
Wait till we get the phone calls that they'll take it down.
Yeah, I would say that, you're going above and beyond what they're requiring, so I don't think there's anything out of question.
Right.
I make a motion that we deny the variance to eliminate the no trespassing signs.
Second,
Was that a second?
I
Okay,
second.
we have a motion and a second to deny the application of this variance of the no trespassing sign. Roll call, please.
Bruce Dickenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Baraco. Ed
Yes.
Shooty. Clayton Potter.
Yes.
All right, the next variance is, again, Hickory Creek LLC, Patrick Long. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance to allow for barbed wire fencing. Zoning resolution, section 51006 G2. Fence shall be decorative design to include chain link, but to exclude barbed wire, chicken wire, and similar type fence, and shall be designed to have an opacity of 50% or more. Decorative posts shall not exceed the height of 5 feet in height. So, you want to do, that's what they require is.
So the county spec for the perimeter fence, and I have a copy here if anybody'd like to read it, along with the rest of their specs, so. 7-foot high fence with privacy screening, and then a 1-foot barbed wire topper angled out, what you typically see on
Prisons.
Yeah.
kind of facility. So every follows their spec to the letter.
And our requirement is an 8-foot fence.
8-foot, no barbed wire. So we're fencing the same height, but we're
It's
going
just-
7-foot
yeah,
and then a
and then,
barbed wire
And
top.
then 1 foot of barbed wire.
That's what they require, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
What are you gonna do?
I think so. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the 7-foot fence with the 1-foot barbed wire.
Well, that'd be, no, you're just doing the barbed wire right
Yeah, the next
The
one.
next one's a
Oh,
fence.
okay, excuse me. I approved the barbed wire,
This is the top 1 foot.
Top one.
up 1 foot.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second for the 1 foot barbed wire topping on the fence. Roll call, please.
Bruce Stippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yeah.
Vince Braddock.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Coffin.
And there's between the rock and the hard part, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't live in that rock.
Okay, so the next is a variance request again, Hickory Creek LLC, Patrick Long. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance to allow for a 7 foot high fence with 1 foot barbed wire above to comply with Portage County Water Resource specification. And then zoning resolution, section 400.10.b, 63D3, an 8 foot high security fence shall be placed around the tower base and all, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's a.
Additional structures within 20 feet of the tower's base. Sorry for my inability to read.
Okay, look, that one.
I never heard that one before,
Yeah.
but hey.
Okay. Again, it's just, that's what they require, 7 foot fence, 1 foot barbed wire. We're still gonna have our 8 foot fence. What is the rest of the fence gonna be made of? It's chain link or?
It's chain link with that privacy screening that they run between the links.
Would you leave half of it open?
No.
We do have a 50%
Yeah, it has to be 50% capacity. I just hate to see kid climb up there.
Opacity of 50% or more.
That's the thing.
So,
It says
so he's gonna put it in every slot.
It's in the neighborhood.
opacity of 50% or more,
Yeah.
not
Open.
openness of 50% or more.
Correct.
So I read your code.
Right, that's what it says here.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions regarding the length of the fence?
So you're looking for a 7 foot fence instead of an 8 foot fence?
Correct.
There will be 8 because there'll be a foot of barbed
8
wire.
foot with a foot of barbed wire up top. Which, in the grand scheme of things, I think would be less obtrusive than 8 foot chain link.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the 8 foot total, 7 foot chain link, 1 foot barbed wire.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the 7 foot chain link top with 1 foot of barbed wire. Roll call, please.
Bruce Stippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Abstain.
Vince Braddock.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Coffin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Motion passed.
You all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck.
And,
Good
I have
luck.
plans for the sign.
and so I guess as soon as we find out about,
Yeah, I'll look it up and talk to him and see what it is. I'm assuming he's gonna need it like you. I'm assuming he's gonna need the variance the way it's written. The refund you the $250 and the one you did away with.
You got a coupon.
We'll swap it. We'll swap it out for another day, but at least you can get going on it. We can issue,
Yeah.
we'll issue the variance paperwork as well as the conditional use, and then you're just gonna need a variance on the height, so just do that last.
Okay, all right, so I can at least get my foundation permit.
Correct.
Okay. Very good.
all right, thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good evening.
Do you want us to move up into the front?
You may if you want. You
Firing line.
can stay where you are, whatever. Totally up to you guys.
If you're more comfortable up front, you can move up front.
Okay, next is a variance application, Copper Creek Lodge LLC. It's a conditional use request. Applicant is requesting a variance for substantial completion of work to be completed within 5 years. The code allows for the zoning resolution, section 200.09.b. If the work described in any type of zoning certificate has not been substantially completed within 2 years from the date of issuance, the zoning certificate shall expire. Substantially complete requires that a minimum of the following items are complete: finished roof, windows installed, the siding or other exterior finishes, material, and of the principal and accessory building structures in the final grade of site. Tell us what it is we want.
Get the time.
You guys are familiar with the site? You know what we're looking at here? I can give you the GIS map and take a look at where it is. The existing development is to the west, the interstate is to the south, and that's the development to the north.
Prescott.
Yeah,
Are you talking about that little triangle and,
That's exactly right.
okay.
I don't think you called it that. I brought it up so that.
Well, we have it up there.
Yeah,
You got it?
we do have,
Right.
we don't have the aerial shot, but we do have your drawings.
Okay, cool. The situation here has probably been in front of you in other circumstances where COVID has interfered with the ability to move forward with the project a little bit. We're here begging for additional time, both to start the project and to complete the project. And we can have David go into details about what's happened here to let you know why the request was being made.
So we acquired Copper Creek Apartments in late 2018, clearly before the pandemic started. And the idea was that we bought the property, we finished the last 2 buildings, and then we roll into the final phase, the final 5 buildings. At the time, my partner was the Orlean Company, a Beachville, Iowa-based developer. We didn't start the final phase as quickly as we wanted to because we had a serious transaction dispute with the seller that precluded us from doing anything financial for the project. It did take us about 2 years to resolve that. Lawyers made a lot of money. I got a lot of stress, worked right here. Yeah, not so much. And as we were resolving it, kind of in February, March 2020, is when the pandemic started and everybody stopped. Everyone panicked. I'm glad to say that during that time period, we really operated the property really well. And Copper Creek Apartments is an asset that we're proud of, and hopefully the community is as well. And then during the pandemic, everyone was afraid to do anything. Construction costs went through the roof, and it became, the economics didn't make sense to develop it as construction prices went up. Luckily, rents also started catching up, but then about almost a year ago to the date, I replaced the Orlean Company as my partner with a group out of Texas called Sandalwood Management. The Orlean Company, great guys, they're still my friends. They just had some management things they could have been doing better. Sandalwood came in, more of an institutional approach. And literally about a year ago, end of February, we actually closed on the property a week after Russia invaded Ukraine. So that was, which was great because we were refinancing the property and our interest rates went like this.
I mean, I have to give you money to invest.
And unfortunately, since then, interest rates have continued to rise. So our request today for 5 years versus 2 years is really intended as a way to set ourselves up for success. We want to make sure that we can continue to develop the property. We have 5 more buildings, I guess, conditionally approved.
all one-bedroom units, which are hugely popular. We've tweaked the units to make them like one-bedroom dens. The buildings look the same as the existing buildings. But it takes time to develop. You're not going to build all 5 buildings at once. You build the first building, you lease it up, you start the second building. It's going to just take us 3 or 4 years to build and stabilize everything. So we're asking for the time to be successful, but also 6 months ago when interest rates went from 0 to 5%, that's put another squeeze on us. We're just taking some time to get our institutional investors ready to go. And a little different, I'm glad the first gentleman was here because as you're talking about, the thing he wants to do, and even the gentleman here with the tower and this kind of being able to see through your backyard, that's not the case here.
Yeah.
Our land is sandwiched between the highway to the south, our existing development to the east, Prescott Pike to the north, which is also apartments. In fact, Omni is partners with Omni, who sold us the property, is partners with Redwood. They sold them the land, so they know it's coming. It's not like it's homeowners. And then immediately to the west is the wetlands. So our land is sandwiched in there, and what we build or don't build doesn't impact anybody else in terms of another business or a homeowner. So as Stephen said, throwing ourselves on our sword here, but asking for the additional time so that we can set ourselves up for success to ultimately execute on finishing this.
What percentage is that Cover Creek finished with the development?
Those are almost exactly 2/3. Right
Really?
now, there's 11 buildings with 182 units, and these 5 buildings, 24 one-bedrooms, another 120 units, which will take it to 300 units. And just like the type of people that live at Copper Creek, we are not student housing, right? We're just far enough away from Kent State, about 2.5 miles, that the juniors and seniors who live in their apartments and want to be able to stumble home from the bars and stumble to class in the morning, you can't do that at Copper Creek because it's a 15 or 20-minute process to get to class on time. So we do have maybe 20%, 25% students, but it's upperclassmen, graduate students, associate professors, administrators, and the other people who live there are young professionals. And talking to the Sandalwood management folks, something they've noticed in the last year is the increase in the credit qualityness of the people who are living there, the applicants who are living
Well,
there.
they're not going anywhere spending any money.
Sorry?
They're not going anywhere and spending any money.
Yeah.
Well, that just started happening. I had a couple questions for you. So this 5-year variance, when's that gonna start? Is that,
It starts, but hopefully if you guys get this approved.
so 5 years from tomorrow?
Yeah.
And for my own edification, since this is my first night here on this committee, how much does this conditional use permit cost? Is it cost factor, or why do you even want to reapply if you're not ready to start building?
So he has, I can answer part of that. So he has a use and a conditional use granted already.
Right.
His use was we had a section of the uses not covered come before the BZA. And because his density does not meet an R4 zoning district now. It did at the time because it came in under a different code section. Since then, you got, the start with zoning commission.
Yeah, that whole area over there is not.
So in order to keep his certificate active, he needs 2 variances. We can't go back on, he's not expired now and he has time. But he can't go back and get a reapproval for that same density. He can come back and get a conditional approval, but then it's going to meet the R4 density calculation, which is nowhere near what he was originally approved at. So when his attorney called, there was 2 variances that he's going to need. The first and foremost one is the extension of time, which is the next section. The code allows for 6 months, and the applicant is looking at 12 months to start. So this board has you could grant an extension of time. Let's say the permit was 2 years, you could extend another 6 months on it with this. But they're asking for a variance onto that 6 months to allow the start time for 12 months. That's just the start. And then they're asking for a variance to go from 2 years from that point to 5 years.
So these are backwards.
Yeah, they're backwards.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's,
And they don't wanna come see us again in 2 years.
I don't blame them.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, we could be back and come back and come back if that's. But this seems to solve the problem for a period of time. For a property that isn't gonna impact anybody, given where it is, I understand the reason for the rule is you wanna not have forever construction going.
Look, I'm saying I don't know the number, I'm gonna be inaccurate with this, but I wanna say that you pay permits in the neighborhood of like 18,000.
I think a little bit more, but
Yeah.
maybe 35, 30.
With twice, because it was paid twice.
Yeah.
Once when you did own it, I think they initially paid it, and then when you owned it, and somehow it got expired, and then they paid it again, so they paid more than double their permit, so.
So
Yeah.
without the continuance, you have a piece of property that virtually is gonna be unbuildable as far as your design goes.
Yeah. Well, and part of it is like was saying, is the zoning code changed, right? So
Yeah.
the rules changed on us. Shame on us for not starting at that point.
That was me, by the way. I was.
And that's not a sign of blame, I'm not trying to assign blame. The facts and circumstances changed. We're really proud of how we managed this asset and our other assets through the pandemic. It doesn't make economic sense to build this thing at 5 units per acre versus the 10 or 12
Right.
that we have.
mhm.
And I think we're unique because we are landlocked back there.
And against the freeway, so.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
stays
noisy.
Very important for this particular site, which is why when we talked with Mr. Lamb.
You're not gonna do retail back there. I mean, there's,
Exactly.
so unless you get this approval, you have a white elephant.
Well, then we could start insincerely, right? We started some site work, we could go in and we could throw in some footers and we wanna be good partners with you, right?
Well, I would like to see the property like cleaned up, maybe grass planted on it until you're serious about getting started. And if you're asking for, a year extension on the, to start, I don't want to see weeds 5 foot tall coming this fall or winter. We already have a coyote problem in that area. There's a lot of animals that travel up and down the old Plum Creek waterway, which is just below you.
Right there.
And I know,
We haven't heard any complaints from the property.
well, no, that's because we kind of keep them down as locals. But,
I've heard Acme products are good for dealing with.
yes, Acme is very good. Well, right across the street, there's 70 acres in there that's all brush. On a Friday night, Saturday night, you can drive up through there and they can run across the road. They're all over there, believe me. So if we can at least limit their habitat till you're ready to get started by leveling it off and putting grass on it, I think that would be
It's no problem.
beneficial for you guys.
Well, I was just gonna always like bragging a little bit. My daughter's a graduate student at Kent State, 22-year-old, single female.
Mm.
She was a cop.
Right.
Right, so, I think my kid's a good kid, and that's the kind of resident we have living there.
Yeah, I've been through there, met a lot of the folks in some of the work I do for the federal government, and it seems like a very nice crowd over there. I don't see a lot of partying, cigarette butts and beer cans laying all over. I don't know any of that. They all seem like they're nice. A lot of them are younger, like you said, younger professionals or, starting out.
So we deal very nicely with Prescott Pike next door because we'll market primarily 55 and older. We're not a senior property, and they do have younger people living there. But younger people who don't want to live there, who want access to our amenities. We get people who want single floor units, so
You getting an override off the Mexican restaurant? I mean, you put all that people in there, they're gonna be eating somewhere.
Good though, I mean, it's good.
Yes, it is.
It is good.
Yeah, the county director of our health department lives
So
right.
so you don't expect to actually start for about a year,
Hopefully within the year, but
within a year? I mean, you're not gonna wanna start in the middle of winter next year.
no, the best time to start would be over the summer, into the fall.
So you do expect to get started this year?
I'm hoping, yes.
I'm
The
just,
answer is yes.
I'm just thinking, if we don't give you, even if we give you 12 months,
You're gonna be back next year.
you're gonna be back next year, so.
Our plan would be to start summer fall.
Just don't finance with SVP,
Sorry.
the Silicon Valley Bank. I mean, that,
Yeah.
or, yeah, that's gonna delay the project.
PNC's finance the property with us. So
Oh, they're good bank.
I don't think they're in trouble.
So you're shooting for like completing one, get the leases going on it, and then
And then
start the
start
second
the
one.
other one.
Obviously stagger them a little bit.
Yeah,
If we start the sidewalk over the summer, hopefully, 14, 15 months from now, the first building's getting under roof.
I know that when they first started your buildings, the police department was there quite often for theft of construction equipment and materials. Do you,
So we have not had
Yep.
any, knock on wood, right? We don't have much police problem there. It was great, for a while, there was a state trooper who lived on the property,
Mhm.
parked his cruiser
well, that would do
right
it.
there. That helped a lot, unfortunately, he moved out, but, I don't see any incidents reports of any. It's not a party scene there.
Well, I think once you got some people in there, that probably deterred. I know that we had that redwood down here on 18. I think they stole a whole trailer down there. It happens, but being that you're stuck back there in that little triangle corner, I think you should be fairly safe
Yeah.
back in there.
You have to do these reverse.
what's
You
that?
have to do this one first.
I don't think it matters. I think we go with the way it is.
Okay.
So you expect then maybe 4.5 years, 4 years to be done, but as a padding, you want 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Then again, it's setting us up for success, not failure, and my attitude is faster is better, but just knowing that life happens.
That it is.
That's for sure.
Do we have any other questions or comments or requests about cleaning up the land? Okay.
Total of credit for the acting comment.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the variance for the substantial completion of work to be within 5 years.
Okay, do we have a second?
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Brodacco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Potter.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Yes. It's a good one, you're right. Okay, the second one, also a variance application, Copper Creek Lodge LLC. Variance request, applicant is requesting a variance for an extension on the length of time code allows for 6 months. Applicant is requesting 12 months to commence work. And, yeah, I don't think I need to go ahead.
I'm happy to get replay, but it's honestly the same story, and, the same.
I don't have any more roadrunner jokes.
I think you get it expedited, you could turn it down, you could start now. and start
Yeah.
Please stop.
So, I mean, you say that he doesn't need a 6-month extension at this point.
He needs the extension, he needs the variance to get it
So
going.
he could do, okay, he gets the extension by virtue of the variance.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 12 months that's being asked, so the 6-month petition.
I'll second it for the comedy team of Copper Creek.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow up to 12 months to commence work. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Brodacco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Potter.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you
Good
all.
luck.
Thank you for the partnership and collaboration.
Thank you.
And it is our plan to clean up that back area. So,
To do what?
to clean up the back area.
Yeah, I would clean it up if you're not gonna jump on it this spring. Just knock it down with a skid steer or something, throw a little grass seed on it. I know your tenants down there like it with all the dogs they have.
Well, it really bumped us out, we used to have a really good kind of landscape buffer to the highway.
Yeah.
And it was all on ODOT land.
And they
Go
mowed it
back
down.
and buy that pellets and just,
They're actually
wrong.
maybe it's like so long.
Well, I guess it's because they had trees falling over the highway, but it really didn't. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Guardians tonight, 9:40.
I'm so excited. 14 days.
Yeah.
16, isn't it?
He comes in, we talk Guardians all the time.
Is it
so-
60 days or 15 days?
It's, so it's the weekend of the Masters. Yeah,
So it's 15 days, yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Uh,
That's officially spring.
Yeah.
So I can show you a very cool picture.
You gotta show it to me.
I have to show you guys this.
We're heading up.
A friend of mine had tickets to the Greater Cleveland Sports Award,
Yeah,
and I was there with a friend who has a knack for getting pictures with celebrities. And as we're walking in, we walk past Van Gilbert Street,
oh, yeah.
and there was no one at the door. And my friend's like, what should we do? I mean, this is kind of your thing, not my thing, but I think we should fake it till we make it.
Yeah,
Fake it
yeah,
till we make it till we-
Yeah,
So we walked in, we pretended we were there, we had dinner, we had drinks. And I turn around and I see this guy there who, I'll show you the picture.
You know, this is all on the record, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I turn around and so my wife.
He's like,
and
who the
I-
hell is this?
My wife and I are originally from Montreal.
Yeah.
My wife grew up there, and I turned to Tito, I'm like, my wife was your biggest fan when you played for the Expos.
Yeah.
He's like, you know Montreal? And I sat there and talked to him for 30 minutes about Montreal.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
Was it a year ago? I was in Chicago and they were doing some maintenance work on Wrigley Field, and I was walking by Wrigley Field and the door was open and there was nobody there. And I'm like you, I'm like, I gotta do it. So I went out and touched the field, made it to the field, and then somebody said, you gotta get out. I was like, I touched the field.
So I talked to Tito,
There you
Tressel.
Yeah.
Ted Gidd Senior was the Lifetime Achievement
Yeah,
person that night. I'm in the suite, I turn around, there's this African American guy there. Like, hey, how you doing? He's like, good. Introduced myself. He's like,
What are you doing
what's your
here?
name? He's like, Kevin. I'm like, Kevin Mack. It was Kevin Mack.
Yeah.
From the grounds from the
Yeah.
And he stood up. He wasn't, I mean, he's bigger than me.
Yeah.
Wasn't that much taller than me. He probably weighs 190 pounds. His legs are huge. But I was like, where's the rest of Kevin Mack?
Yeah.
So,
It was funny, he was just on the TV tonight and I saw him and I was the first thing I thought he's smaller than he was.
yeah, he's not much taller than me.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was a beast.
Yeah.
And-
Anyway,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, figure.
All righty. Do we have anything for the good of the order?
We do have, I hear Kevin Mack might be coming to the grand opening for Rico's.
Yeah, that's
Really?
the second time that I've
Yeah,
heard his name
actually,
recently.
all the old Browns players are supposed to come with him.
He's the USFL owner for the team up in Cleveland.
Mhm.
That's why, yeah.
Yep,
We were
so-
gonna sell that
Yeah,
if
you
you
did.
didn't take
It's
it.
not worth very much. Whenever I go to a coat rack, I try to upgrade.
So, yeah, and then everything's exciting, nothing but positive on the assisted living center and,
Yeah.
When's Rico's open? When's Rico's, the old Rico's?
he's got a little bit more work he's gotta do. He's got another pavilion going in the back and then he's got an awning that he's replacing. He tore down and now he's replacing it. And we're going through to see if he needs a variance. If he doesn't, I gotta just see the
He's done a nice job.
but it looks really sharp,
Yeah.
it really does. And then we have a new, Joe's Barbecue, is gonna be seeking a variance and I'm working with Pavlika.
Gail.
No, her husband,
Oh,
is Frank.
yeah.
And Frank was in this week and he's got drawings for Joe's Barbecue to knock the 2 buildings down and a new restaurant in the back. He only has 1 variance right now. I mean, I'm going through it, trying to find out if there's another variance, just so we're not wasting his time, but right now I only see 1. But it looks really, really good, so it's gonna be a good improvement.
Chase seems to have started their work.
Yep.
Good. And, that's it?
That's it.
All right. Next meeting, 19th. Do we have anything as of yet?
We have 2 and they're actually for the township. They're for the soccer fields. So that's the only thing official that I have right now.
None. Hey, they finally paid us.
I know, they did. Yeah,
All
that's why
right.
they paid us.
Do we have a final motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Bruce Wittenberg,
Yes.
Scott Atlan,
Nope.
Vince Bernardo,
Nope.
and Judy.
Yeah.
I do it?
I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made the motion, it's kind of hard to say no.
Lane Coffin.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned.
I almost skipped over your